The night sky above Wakanda was as clear as ever, with stars shimmering brightly. Yet, something felt different tonight. T'Challa, standing on the balcony of the royal palace, felt a subtle shift in the air. His keen senses, honed by years of being Black Panther, detected an unusual energy. He gazed up, narrowing his eyes as he focused on a peculiar movement among the stars. It wasn't just his imagination. Something was out there. A shadow began to form in the sky, growing larger with each passing second. At first, it was barely noticeable, a dark speck against the vast expanse of space. But as it drew closer, it became clear that this was no ordinary celestial event. T'Challa's heart quickened as the object pierced through Wakanda's atmosphere, descending rapidly toward the ground. It was a spacecraft, massive and ominous, unlike anything Wakanda had encountered before. The ship landed silently in the heart of Wakanda, its enormous bulk settling with an eerie grace. There was no explosion, no dust, just a calm and calculated descent. T'Challa knew this was no friendly visit. He immediately summoned Okoye, the leader of the Dora Milaje, Wakanda's elite female warriors. "Okoye," he said, his voice firm yet controlled. "We have visitors. Prepare the defenses." Wakanda's advanced defense systems, hidden beneath the surface and within the mountains, activated instantly. Shuri, T'Challa's brilliant sister, was already in her lab, her fingers flying over the controls as she scanned the unknown craft. "This is not vibranium-based technology," she muttered, her brow furrowing. "It's something else. Something alien." As the ship's ramp lowered, a group of tall, armored figures emerged. They were imposing, standing at least 7 feet tall, their bodies encased in sleek, black metal. Their movements were unnaturally synchronized, almost mechanical. At their head was a figure even more intimidating, with armor that seemed to pulse with a dark energy. This was no ordinary leader. This was a warlord. "I am Zorak," the leader's voice boomed, deep and resonant, reverberating through the night air. "Ruler of the Zytraxian Empire, we have come for the vibranium." T'Challa stepped forward, his posture regal, yet ready for combat. "Wakanda does not trade its resources with strangers. Vibranium is sacred to us. What do you seek to do with it?" Zorak's eyes, glowing a faint red beneath his helmet, fixed on T'Challa. "Our world is dying. Our stars are fading, and our resources are depleted. Vibranium is the key to restoring our power, to reigniting our empire. We demand a share of it, or we will take it by force." A tense silence hung in the air. T'Challa's mind raced, evaluating the situation. He knew that giving in to these demands would mean putting not just Wakanda, but the entire world at risk. Vibranium was the lifeblood of Wakanda, the source of its strength and the reason for its isolation. To allow it to fall into the hands of a warlike empire would spell disaster. "You will get nothing," T'Challa declared, his voice steady. "Wakanda will never yield to threats. If you want vibranium, you will have to go through me." Zorak's eyes flared with anger. "So be it," he growled. With a wave of his hand, his troops surged forward, weapons at the ready. The battle was fierce and immediate. The Dora Milaje sprang into action, their vibranium spears flashing in the moonlight as they met the invaders head-on. T'Challa, in his Black Panther suit, was a blur of motion, his enhanced abilities allowing him to take on multiple enemies at once. The alien warriors were powerful, their armor nearly impenetrable, but Wakanda's defenders were skilled and determined. Shuri, monitoring the battle from her lab, quickly realized that this was not a fight they could win through brute force alone. The Zytraxian's armor was resistant to most of Wakanda's conventional weapons. She needed to think fast. "T'Challa," she called through their secure communication link. "Their armor is absorbing kinetic energy. We need to disrupt their internal systems. I'm working on something." T'Challa acknowledged her message as he dodged a blast of energy from one of the invaders. "Do it quickly, Shuri," he urged, his voice strained as he engaged another foe. The battle was taking its toll, and even with his enhanced strength and speed, the sheer numbers and resilience of the Zatraxians were overwhelming. In the depths of her lab, Shuri's fingers danced over her workstation as she formulated a plan. She needed to find a way to reverse the energy flow in the Zatraxian armor, turning their greatest strength into a vulnerability. "I've got it," she murmured, her eyes lighting up with determination. "If we can hit them with a concentrated sonic blast, it should overload their systems." She quickly relayed the plan to T'Challa. "I'm sending you the coordinates. Lure them to the center of the city, near the vibranium mines. We can use the resonance from the mines to amplify the sonic blast." T'Challa didn't hesitate. With a series of agile flips and sprints, he began to draw the Zatraxians toward the designated area. The Dora Milaje, following his lead, strategically retreated, guiding the invaders into the trap. The streets of Wakanda, usually bustling with life, were eerily empty, the citizens safely hidden away in secure bunkers. As the Zatraxians entered the vibranium-rich area, Shuri activated the sonic emitters. A low hum began to build, growing louder and more intense with each passing second. The Zatraxians hesitated, sensing something was amiss, but it was too late. The sonic blast erupted from the ground, a deafening wave of sound that shattered the night. Zorak and his troops staggered, their armor vibrating violently as the sonic waves penetrated their systems. Sparks flew as circuits overloaded, and the once imposing figures began to falter. T'Challa seized the opportunity, launching himself at Zorak with all the strength he could muster. His claws, reinforced with pure vibranium, found purchase in the weakened armor. Zorak roared in fury, swinging wildly at T'Challa, but the Black Panther was too quick. With a final, powerful strike, T'Challa ripped through Zorak's chest plate, exposing the alien warlord's vulnerable core. Zorak fell to his knees, defeated. "You have won this battle," Zorak rasped, his voice filled with both anger and grudging respect. "But the war is far from over. Others will come. For the vibranium." T'Challa looked down at the fallen warlord, his expression resolute. "Wakanda will be ready," he said firmly. "We will always be ready." With Zorak's defeat, the remaining Zatraxian forces quickly retreated, their will to fight broken. The massive ship that had brought them to Earth lifted off, disappearing into the night sky as quickly as it had arrived. Wakanda was safe, but T'Challa knew this was only the beginning. As dawn broke over the city, the people of Wakanda emerged from their shelters, cautiously surveying the aftermath of the battle. The damage was significant, but the heart of Wakanda remained strong. T'Challa stood at the center of it all, his suit retracting as he took a deep breath. This victory had been hard-won, but it had also come with a heavy price. Shuri approached him, her expression a mix of relief and concern. "T'Challa, we did it. But Zorak was right. There will be others. We need to be prepared." T'Challa nodded, his mind already racing with plans to fortify Wakanda's defenses even further. "We will be. But for now, let's focus on rebuilding. Our people need to see that Wakanda stands tall, no matter what." In the days that followed, Wakanda began to rebuild. The vibranium mines, crucial to their victory, were fortified even further, with Shuri leading efforts to develop new technologies to protect them. T'Challa, meanwhile, reached out to his allies across the world, sharing what he had learned from the encounter with Zorak. The message was clear: Earth was not alone in the universe, and the next threat could come from anywhere. But Wakanda, under T'Challa's leadership, would be ready. The spirit of Black Panther lived on, stronger than ever, guiding his people through whatever challenges lay ahead. And as long as he stood, Wakanda would remain the beacon of hope and strength it had always been. As the sun set on another day in Wakanda, T'Challa stood once more on the balcony of the royal palace, looking out over his kingdom. The stars above twinkled innocently, but he knew better. Somewhere out there, beyond the visible stars, others were watching, waiting for their chance. But T'Challa was not afraid. With vibranium in his veins and the heart of a king, he was ready for whatever the universe might throw at him.